It's been a long time since I've done one of these challenges, and it has been my most requested series on this channel. And this series is making its return today. I practiced Mega Man for 3 days and entered a tournament. Day 1 is always the most important day, because our first step is picking the character through the best method available, democracy. During this step I usually like to pick 4 YouTube comments so Twitch chat can vote between 4 different characters. But I didn't enter a tournament in over a year and felt kinda rusty, if that makes sense. Which means I picked the characters myself while also taking suggestions from Twitch chat. The 4 characters in the poll were Roy, Mega Man, Pikachu and Banjo and Kazooie. In the end, Mega Man won with 18 votes over all the other characters. Meanwhile, Roy was last with 6 votes. I honestly understand this decision, because many people want to see me play a character which is either highly technical or a character I have 0 skills with, and Mega Man fulfills both requirements. But at the same time, Mega Man has always been a character for me that I really wanted to train, but didn't know when and how to start. It felt like I really needed a 3-day video to start practicing him. And because I literally had no clue about this character whatsoever, I started watching all kinds of YouTube videos. And I learned a lot through that. For example, if I hold the B button while performing a leaf shield, it's longer out. Yes, I did not know that it works like that. I didn't know anything about this character. I've also seen Mega Man players cancelling the leaf shield, and as it turns out, this always involves using an item to pick up. In this case, the Metal Blade. You either dash up to the Metal Blade with a leaf shield while holding B and press A to pick it up, or you already have the Metal Blade in hand and throw the Metal Blade up during a dash. These are the only 2 ways to cancel his down special apparently. While we are talking about the special moves, I also tested out how his side B Crash Bomber functions. Because as you all know, it sticks to an opponent like a Pikmin, and I was wondering where it would send the opponent depending on the position of the Crash Bomber. And it turns out that the position does not matter at all. What matters is the direction the opponent is facing. The Crash Bomber will always send the opponent in the opposite direction they are facing. So if they are facing left, the knockback trajectory is more to the right. If they are facing right, they will get sent to the left. It is also a good move to catch recoveries to the ledge and combo with it, or secure the ledge for your own recovery. Mega Man's up special is Rush, his trusty robot dog. It is a recovery move, but you can do way more with it than you can imagine. However, we're gonna save that for day 2, because on day 1 I mainly used it for recovering. And our last special move is Metal Blade, which is very good for comboing. Important to note is that Mega Man always drops his Metal Blade behind him. So if you want to C-drop out of shield somebody with it, your back always has to be towards your opponent. Which is honestly a good thing, because this can lead to a kill confirm using C-drop Metal Blade into drag down bear into up tilt. Which is, by the way, easier said than done. I practiced this combo over and over and over and over again, and the hardest part was turning around and doing up tilt. I've been a Link main for years, and for me a simple turnaround up tilt is super easy, because I just need to hold the control stick in a corner and I get the up tilt out. But when I do the same thing for Mega Man, his pellets are coming out, which are, by the way, his neutral air, forward tilt and jab, so yeah, he's shooting a lot. When life gives you lemons, you better play Mega Man or something. After all this YouTube video watching and practicing in training mode, I finally put Mega Man to the test and entered Elite Smash to get more comfortable with him. And our first opponent was a Dr. Mario player. I kid you not when I say that, but Mega Man had probably the weirdest properties for me, and I had not a single clue how to play neutral with him. I only got a few hits and no combos at all in the beginning. Every time I moved around and threw out attacks, I felt stuck. It felt like playing a rock man. In this case, my problem was not really utilizing his moveset, but rather getting comfortable with his movement. These stats are often overlooked by a lot of players, but they are an important part of the game as well. They decide if a character has a lot of mobility and survivability. Simple stats can make your character lightning fast like Fox or floaty like Jigglypuff, but therefore some characters have more mobility while airborne. And Mega Man was in the category, it's complicated for me. So rather than focusing on combos, I focused on movement, positioning and neutral on the first day. I tested out all his different moves, how I can make them work in neutral, advantage and disadvantage. While racking up damage is no problem for Mega Man, I also had to check how to take stocks, and it was either with edge guards using his metal blade, back air or down air. Landing catches also worked out pretty well to secure the stock, because this up air is a ridiculous juggling tool which can take stock super early depending on the positioning, percent, and how much knowledge your opponent has. Because you shouldn't jump out of this move, it will kill you earlier. And then there are grounded moves like up tilt that blast away your opponent and win you games. At this point, I just want to point out that Mega Man's most important neutral tool are his pellets. If you can use the pellets correctly, you are a good Mega Man player. His pellets are a good tool for chip damage, neutralizing some projectiles, not all though, looking at you, Charge Shot. It is there for chair blocks and most importantly, interrupting the movement of your opponent. It can be a real pain for the opponent if they want to throw out a move and 3 simple pellets are causing them to stand still. These are very distracting and super annoying to deal with, which was good for me. Now you might say, but Sillen, I have not seen you use a single pellet in all these clips. And you are right. I specifically did not want to use this move in the beginning for a simple reason. I had so much trouble actually moving around with Mega Man that I thought using too many pellets would cause me to neglect all the other moves surrounding his kit and get even more stuck than my opponent. I had 3 days anyway, so I want to keep this for another day. Day 2 I started off with the training mode again and began practicing swag combos, but then I quickly realized that I should focus more on the simple stuff rather than content creation and Twitter montages. So I practiced the up tilt confirm again and again. This was one combo I really wanted to get down because it would mean I could take stocks early with an out of shield option. After a short practice session, I entered Elite Smash again and started smashing. What I've noticed is that I have especially issues against characters that are super fast, like Fox, Withra and Greninja. I cannot keep my distance and utilize my projectiles to the fullest, so no matter the skill level, it was always very tough for me to fight these characters, and I knew I had to get better at these matchups. Overall though, my advantage state on the second day was already way better, and I figured out how to use the moves to rack up more and more damage. It felt like I needed to slowly find an opening with a projectile, and once my opponent is above me, it is go time. This up air is doing so much work, it is insane. What a good move. On the first day, I was only slightly breezing over Mega Man's up B Rush, and that is way more than just a recovery move. Well, Rush can be pretty good in neutral and advantage as well. I tried using up B more to get my opponents in juggling situations, and it worked out very well. For example, in this Mario clip here, I saw Mario landing right in front of me. I placed Rush down, so he would jump on him and be in a juggling situation to take the stock. This little robot dog was doing so much work that I used him again and again to confuse my opponents and give me stage positioning. And up special was not only good for that, you could also get off the ledge pretty quickly to skip ledge traps. Overall, up special, while being linear, it is super versatile in a lot of different situations, which makes it an interesting move. Oh, and by the way, if you jump on Rush again while he is already out, you can use him a second time in the air. I didn't really do this too much during the 3 days, but I thought it is worth pointing out. It can get really frustrating for the opponent. It is the 3rd day and you all know what that means. It is finally time for the tournament. Or so I thought. Before I say what I'm about to say, there will be good news at the end, but for now I have to confess. When looking for tournaments, I never ask the TOs if a tournament is taking place or not. I just look for some weeklies that are taking place and assume that a tournament is hosted again on the same day. However, when I wanted to participate in this tournament, not a single tournament organizer of the weekly was available during that day, which means they didn't host the tournament as well. This is not their fault. It is completely my fault for not communicating with the TOs beforehand if there's actually an event happening or not. I should not assume that there's always a tournament because it says weekly. Sometimes life just gets in the way. But here are the good news now. Twitch chat and I came up with a solution and I feel honestly so dumb for not thinking about this earlier. What if we just host our own tournament? With many different people, and the community has to stop me from achieving victory. That's right, our online tournament Smash the Pot is back, and it was also the first time I participated in it myself. This has been an online tournament series we hosted every month back in 2022 and 2023, but I stopped hosting it at some point. Now, before we started the tournament, we had to discuss when we are gonna do it. We cannot host a tournament out of nowhere and expect a lot of people. Also, I did not want to take the same date as the weekly was supposed to be. It was a Friday on day 3, so we decided to host the tournament 2 days later on a Sunday, because I was on a birthday party on Saturday. Now many people will say, but silly, that is a 4-day tournament run now and not 3-day. Listen up everybody. I've seen a lot of comments on the 3-day tournament challenge videos, and some people said that the 3 days are technically only 2 days, because they only practiced 2 days and then entered the tournament. Meanwhile, others said 3 days make total sense. That's why I would say we call it 3.5 days right now, so nobody is right. Day 3.5, and it is finally time for the tournament. As the tournament organizer, I had to seed the event and gave myself a 4th seed. I didn't really know where I should place myself, so I thought this is fair enough. We honestly had a lot of good players in the tournament as well, like the Little Mac player Failord and the Yoshi player Double. Failord has already won against my Link in viewer battles, if I remember correctly, and now I had to win with my Mega Man? That seemed very hard, but I was up for the challenge. Due to my seed, I was already in winners round 2, and I had to wait for the previous set to finish between Ovally Warren and Big Shot. Meanwhile, we were watching another set between the young Link player Ryan Navi and the Toon Link player Platon. I swear I don't know how I do it, but every time I'm hosting a tournament, the Links are coming together and invade the event. And what's even funnier is that I'm unknowingly seeding the Links against each other. In the end, Platon won versus Jay Navi, and the set I've been waiting for finished as well. And I was ready for my first opponent, Big Shot. Winners round 2 versus Big Shot. The first game starts off pretty normal on Battlefield. I try to keep Big Shot away with my pellets, while Big Shot tries to hit me. What's funny about this matchup is that Sephiroth has the ability to hit Mega Man from far away due to his range. But my pellets travel just slightly faster. The first stock was a back and forth, we were trading hits after hits, until I finally found a good opening with my trusty Metal Blade to send Big Shot off stage. Another Metal Blade edge guard combined with a back air finally took the first stock. Now that I had the stock lead, it was Mega Man's time to shine and accumulate more damage over time. I basically just tried to keep Sephiroth out of my range, because I knew that anything can take my stock now. And before that was the case, I got Big Shot to over 90% before going down to a down air. Seeing how Big Shot used many counters and disadvantage already, I was prepared for it and took their stock with an F smash near the ledge. With more pellets and projectiles, I slowly but surely got Big Shot to over 120%. And then the best thing I could have imagined happened. Do you remember how long I practiced one specific kill confirm? Well, take a look at this. Oh! Let's fucking go, I got it. That's my streamer. Game 2, Big Shot switched to Joker, but they chose the same stage Battlefield. Joker was always one of those characters that gave me trouble early on when learning Mega Man. But since I've started using more pellets, I was able to interrupt the movement of Big Shot and get more and more damage in until finally taking the stock with a down air. I had honestly a very good lead at this point, but Big Shot did an amazing job closing the gap slowly but surely and read my roll on the ledge with a huge Ascend F smash. And before I could finally respond, Big Shot reworded the whole situation and brought this game back to an even situation. I had enough of that and interrupted Big Shot's movement with a few pellets and tried to get another drag down bear into up tilt kill, but only got the weak spot. It didn't matter too much because a Metal Blade into back air sealed the deal. Shortly after, I got Big Shot into a juggling situation with up air, and then he made a complete 180 on me by countering my up air, and I had no clue anymore what was going on. Hey, whoa! What the? While being confused by the whole situation, Big Shot was able to capitalize off of that and took my stock with another F smash. This match already worked out way better for Big Shot, and it was definitely good to switch the character, but in the end I took game 2 with an F smash on the ledge and advanced to winner's quarter. GG's to Big Shot. Winner's quarters versus Platon. If there are two types of characters I struggled with, then it was fast characters or other projectile characters, especially the Links. In this matchup there was so much stuff flying around that I wasn't really sure what to do, and I could definitely see this in the first game. This entire set was about hitting each other with projectiles and finding an opening, and Platon got the opening kill as well here. It took me over 170% to finally take the stock off of Toon Link after punishing a grounded up special with my up smash. Even though this match looked pretty even, Platon was always a tad bit ahead and finished off my stock before I got their stock. My second stock was gone due to a good up special edge guard, and on my last stock I got absolutely cooked by Platon. I can't put it any other way. My Mega Man bursted into a million pieces and couldn't recover at all from that, and the first game went to Platon. Now it was my time to counterpick, and I picked Hollow Bastion. I had to completely change my game plan around, but I honestly had a tough time doing that. Platon was in the lead again, with me being over 120% and offstage. But then Platon made a huge mistake. They tried to hit a bomb drop into up B, but I weaved around the bomb to not get hit, which left them open for a back air of mine, taking the stock early. And with this slight lead, I knew what to do. I had to slowly but surely chip away on the health and get tooling to more and more percent, until finally taking the stock. I was just being cautious to not get hit by any opening of Platon and rack up damage slowly but surely. And at some point I was able to take the second stock while still hanging on to 3 stocks. And I definitely did not want to lose my stock even at this point. I wanted to make a statement, not for Platon, but for myself, to prove that my Mega Man can get a 3 stock in this tournament. And that I can push my advantage further until finally taking the stock and winning game 2 with a 3 stock. Game 3 was Platon's counter pick and they went to small battlefield. Being all pumped from the previous game, I started right where I left off the last game and kept Platon in disadvantage the entire time. They found themselves only on the ledge and before the Toon Link player knew it, the first stock was gone while I only had 6%. But Platon still had some fight in them and got a good combo against me, including a chair block on the platform. The game started to look pretty even again, despite the fact I was an entire stock in the lead, and Platon even took my stock before I took theirs. But I didn't want to lose my entire lead just like that, so I quickly answered back and took Platon's stock with a back air. Where I really shined at the end in this match was my ledge trapping. I often use the metal blade to force a reaction to shield so I can grab Platon and throw them off over and over again. It didn't really take the stock, but the damage over time was significant. And the damage was just too much to overcome for Platon, and I finished and won the set with one final up tilt, catching the landing of the Toon Link player. GG's to Platon. Winner Semi vs Failord. We started the set on Pokemon Stadium 2 and all I have to say is that this matchup seems horrible for Little Mac. The first game went super smooth for me and I kept Failord out of my comfort zone the majority of the match. His first stock went down to one quick back throw near the ledge and I didn't stop there. Failord was just coming back to the stage and I was still going at it and found a huge opening. He had his stock for maybe 10 seconds and I already shot him down into the blast zone after 2 framing the Little Mac player's recovery. After some time, Failord was finally able to take a stock off of me with an up the out of shield. But the deficit for the Little Mac player was too huge to overcome and I finished off the game with a solid 2 stock. Game 2, Failord decided to go on small battlefield. This game went way better for him already and we both found ourselves on a relatively high percent after 30 seconds of gameplay. But Little Mac having the recovery he has and Mega Man being the edge guarder he is, I was able to take the first stock before Failord did. This game looked already way better for Failord, but then I took the nastiest stock ever and without a second thought, I completely ended the Little Mac player's stock with 2 downers in a row. Failord was finally able to take my stock, but this looked awfully similar to the first game. I mentioned this earlier, but Failord already took games and I think even sets off of my Link in viewer battles. And I can tell you that much, that Mega Man vs Little Mac felt like an insanely unfair matchup for Little Mac. So either I'm playing the Little Mac matchup wrong with Link, or I'm doing something terribly right with Mega Man, because I promise that it would have been closer if I picked Link. All in all, it wasn't enough for Failord and I took game 2 with another 2 stock and advanced from winner's semi to winner's final, where my next opponent was already waiting for me. GG's to Failord. Winner's final versus Darky. Winner's final is best of 5, so there's a lot more room for adaptation and boy was that a set. Darky started off really well and only received a tiny bit of percent before I went down to a buffered air dodge. I don't really think that mattered a lot because I was already at high percent anyway on the ledge, so not a huge loss there. I had to answer back quickly to get into the game again and now it was my time to keep Darky on the ledge and I finished the stock off with a down air. This match was very close and I could really see Darky's experience in the Mega Man matchup. Their neutral was good and the timing on the F tilts on ledge was immaculate. It was very hard for me to get back on stage again. All in all, I was keeping it pretty close though, and I almost won the game, but I made a simple mistake and misinputted a down tilt instead of whatever I wanted to input and died wrong out of messing up my input as well. For the second game, I decided to go on Pokemon Stadium 2, and like the last game, it was a constant back and forth. Honestly, we could have started the game on 2 stocks because we found ourselves both having 2 stocks at 0% after a bit over a minute of gameplay. And the rest of the game went exactly the same with me just having a slight lead on our last stocks. Early on the set already looked like a game where Darky tried to find an opening through all my projectiles or quickly interrupt my projectiles with the blaster of their own and me just dealing damage over time with my projectiles and keeping Darky out. At the end, the second game went to me after I caught Darky's landing with an up smash. The third game went on small battlefield, which I honestly enjoy with Mega Man. As the other two games, this one started off pretty even again, and we both dealt a lot of damage to each other early on before each of our first stocks went down one after another. This game looked more in Darky's favor because they were the whole time slightly in the lead and got the crucial stocks earlier than me, like with this down smash read after a tech chase. But you know me, that I never give up, and anything my opponent can do, I can do as well. I got Darky to a lot of percent while they were on the ledge and evened the game out. Now it was all about finding the last hit for both of us. This game 3 is pretty important because it means that either Darky or me will have the counter pick advantage on a potential game 5. And ultimately, I saw myself in that lead and finished off game 3 with a Metal Blade into back air. I was only one game away from reaching Grand Finals. Darky's counter pick for game 4 was Hollow Bastion, and this was my favorite stage with Mega Man. Every time I played on it, I felt comfortable using all of my moves, keeping my opponent out, utilizing the platform in the middle for up air shenanigans and so on. But there was a reason Darky picked that stage, of course, and like the other games, we saw ourselves again in a scenario where we both only had one stock left. Either Darky's gonna bring this to a game 5, or I can close it out and move on to Grand Finals. This whole game came down to the wire and we were both at kill percent on our last stock. Any opening would give us the victory, but it was I who found the crucial Metal Blade into back air to win game 5 and move on to Grand Finals. GG's Darky, that was a tough set. Before we move on to the Grand Final, I had to wait for my final opponent, so we looked up how the other competitors are doing and watched the losers semi-final between Failord and Double. Overall, it was a close set between these two players and Failord managed to win the first game after a tech chase down tilt into up B. And in the second game, another up tilt into up special closed out the game and Failord moved on to the losers final where he had to fight against Darky. GG's to Double for getting 4th place. The losers final is a best of 5, as well as the winners final and grand final. In the first game, Darky decided to pick Piranha Plant against Failord's Little Mac, which unfortunately didn't really work out for them, and Darky lost 2 stocks in very quick succession. Upon losing this game, Darky switched over to Wolf and did a way better job already in this game too. Wolf's F-tilts were a nightmare for the Little Mac player and Darky was able to finish game 2. Game 3 went to Small Battlefield and Failord managed to take a stock early with a well-timed down smash on the ledge. Overall, it was hard to bring this deficit back for Darky, and Failord just dealt more and more damage and finished game 3 with another KO punch. Game 4 was starting to be in Failord's favor again, but then Darky made a great comeback and built up a huge lead over Failord. You should always return a favor, and Darky did exactly that with a 2 stock of their own, bringing this best of 5 into a game 5. If Failord is good at something, it is definitely timing down smashes on ledge against Wolf. With this, Failord saw himself in a 3 stock versus 1 stock lead against Darky. The Wolf player tried everything to get this game into their favor again, but the long and strong arm of Little Mac was too much and another down smash on the ledge finished Darky off. With this, Darky got 3rd at Smash the Pot and Failord moved on to the Grand Final to face me. GG's to Darky for getting 3rd place. Grand Final versus Failord. And once again, Failord challenges me in this tournament, but this time in Grand Finals, coming from the loser side. Which means that Failord not only has to win 1 set, but 2 sets to be the winner of Smash the Pot. Meanwhile, I only had to win 1 set to come out victorious in this tournament. For me it was go time and I wanted to show everybody what my Mega Man can achieve after only 3 days of training. But what I have noticed more during the set was that Failord came prepared and suddenly the 2 stocks from the previous set against him were gone. And we were both on our last stock in the last hit scenario. It was a close game 1 and at the end I won, but I had to lock in for the next games. Otherwise, Failord is gonna bring this back. Failord wanted to stay on Battlefield for game 2 and it started pretty even like the first game again. I took the first stock with a down here because it's Little Mac's recovery versus Mega Man, but Failord took quick care of my stock as well. I could really see the adaptation shine through Failord, but he was not the only one adapting and I was even more comfortable going off stage to take the Little Mac player's stock. Failord brought me down to my last stock at 0% and I was able to get him off stage with a forward air, and then I blocked about every path to the stage with Mega Man and finished off game 2 with another down air spike. For game 3, Failord went on Small Battlefield. It was set point and I had to win 1 more game to win with my day 3 Mega Man. I know it was possible. I only had to concentrate 1 more time and bring the victory home to basically my home in front of the computer. And after a minute of gameplay, I was able to get Failord's first stock. But then he quickly answered back and took my own stock with a forward tilt. It was a constant back and forth in this match and Failord's KO punch was on deck. I didn't want any of this and just waited for my perfect opportunity to get rid of it. I jumped off rush several times and waited for this one moment and finally got it. And then the most tragic thing happened in Smash Ultimate. Failord wanted to shield my Metal Blade and accidentally buffered an air dodge, and we all know what that means for Lil Mac. A stock loss. But Failord didn't have any of this and answered back right away to bring this match back again with an up smash. It was not an easy fight at all for me. But if I learned anything in the Lil Mac matchup, it is that I had to go offstage and completely block their recovery path. And this is exactly what I did on the last stock. One more down air was enough to edgeguard Lil Mac and win Smash the Pot with my day 3 Mega Man. GG's to Failord for getting 2nd place. You adapted very well and it was a fun set. We got another character on the list who won the 3-day challenge, and it is Mega Man out of all characters. I also participated in my own tournament for the first time. Honestly, it was more fun to participate in Smash the Pot than any other online tournament, because I had the freedom of managing the tournament on my own. I knew exactly that the tournament was taking place on this day, and for the future, I think we'll do the 3-day challenges only in Smash the Pot. If you have anything against it or think it's kinda rigged, then feel free to participate in it as well and try to defeat me. Nobody is stopping you from entering our community tournaments. I post my streaming schedule every week on Monday on Twitter, Discord, YouTube and Twitch for you to know the date of the tournament, and it is free to enter. I don't know when we're gonna host the next tournament, but it is probably gonna be in October. If you enjoyed this challenge and learned something on my Mega Man journey, then feel free to like, share, comment and subscribe. It would really help a ton. Also don't forget to check out our secondary channel Sillintor Vault. Join the Twitch streams or interact with the Discord community. All links are in the description. Until next time, bye bye.